To remain updated with the latest business news, click on the bell icon.
Well, infrastructure was the key highlight for the union budget when Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman was in fact talking about the highways sector, in particular about 25,000 kilometers of highways would be constructed in 2022-23. I am joined by an independent expert, Mr. Vaibhav Dange, who's a commentator on public policy and of course infrastructure. Thank you so much for joining us on Business Today TV, sir. Tell us how the allocation has been for the infrastructure sector. What are the key highlights as per you, sir?
I think the finance minister has done a excellent balancing act because post COVID we were expecting that recovery has begun in the economy, but the sensors were too early, and finance minister has tried to continue with that pace of recovery and probably keeping her focus on increasing the capital expenditure in entire infrastructure including railways, highways, aviation, waterways, including drinking water. हर घर जल नल के द्वारा हर घर जल. I think all these housing she has given 48,000 crore. Highways she has increased to 1,99,000 crore. So I think the focus has been quite maintained in spite of slight increase in the fiscal deficit. She has maintained the objective of growth momentum, and I think this budget will ensure that this year we go back to a 8.5% of growth trajectory.
Sir, talking about the highway sector in particular, a record allocation has been done, increase about 30% in the budgetary allocations. Sir, where do you think the government should focus when it comes to spending that money? Because the government is on a spree of awarding projects and construction is also picking up very flawlessly. Where do you think the priority area should be for the government?
For example, FM has also explicitly said that as per Prime Minister's vision of PM Gati Shakti, 22 Greenfield Expressways are the new area of development in the national highways. And I think rightly so. Delhi-Mumbai Expressway Highway, which is a Greenfield Expressway, probably longest express highway in the world, is about to finish by 23. So government has put a nice development plan in place with 22 Greenfield Expressways. And most of it initially will obviously go into the land acquisition. So I think the allocation is right. Unless we have a better land acquisition done, you cannot increase the highway construction speed. So I think most of this money in this financial year particularly will go for a land acquisition. And moment that money goes to the land acquisition, there is a tremendous amount of downstream impact of that land acquisition on the economy, on the purchasing power in the rural area. So I think the direction is right. She has restrained herself from going to a popular announcement, but I think it is the right thing to do from the infra push perspective, and I think highway will bring in that usher in that growth that which Indian economy is looking at.
Sir, railways, talking about railways now, 400 new trains on the lines of Vande Bharat has been announced by FM. How are you anticipating this demand? Do you think the companies, especially manufacturing, domestic companies manufacturing the wagons and railway loads, do you think they stand to benefit? And how do you see this announcement for the railway sector in total?
No, you are right. I think this is the right push in the Atmanirbhar objective which government has set in. For example, last 3-4 years, railway has been experimenting on new designs, new material, and this aluminium-based coaches has been a very successful model which railway has indigenously developed. And I think that's a right push for the manufacturing locally here in India. And it only not only improves the quality of the coaches, experience for the travelers, also helps in increasing the speed of the railway. So I think it's a right push. And post-COVID, the kind of push even for the hospitality sector FM has given, it will obviously increase the demand for the railway users. The push for the railway travel will increase. Even the cargo use has been phenomenal for railways. So I think it's a right direction. Railway, civil aviation, road, waterways put together will give a necessary push, infra push to the economy, I think.
So, two key areas have been the waterways and also for the solar rooftop mission that the government plans. Talking about the power sector and the solar mission, do you think such a move will help the sector? And also, secondly, on the SOPs that you were mentioning of the capital expenditure that FM announced, do you think that will further give a boost to the infra sector?
Yeah, I think there is absolutely no doubt about it. everybody was expecting, right from the industry to the economist, everybody was expecting that unless government continues this push on capital expenditure, we can't expect economy to get back to the growth rate of 8.5% or so. So I think capital expenditure is the right. Any economist will probably expect only that. And balancing deficit and still continuing with capital expenditure push, I think is something which finance minister has achieved. Answering your second question on looking at solar rooftop power, and I think the push on the green energy is still continuing. Not only solar, or in fact FM has announced that blending of fuel will be pushed. FM has announced that we will push electric vehicles through electric infrastructure. Battery swapping has been talked about. So I think all this put together, if we need to look at the long term objectives of climate change and the what Prime Minister has committed onto the global forums, this push will have to continue. One more area which I like to comment that finance minister has done a good job in this area is to continue, see, to push the economy. Indian enterprises should become competitive, and logistics cost is one area where Indian enterprises needs infrastructure push to become logistically competitive. So for example, FM's focus on developing those multimodal logistics park, creating necessary multimodal approach. I think 4 multimodal logistic park have been announced to be awarded in this year. The new ropeway mechanism, transport has been proposed for hill states and to the very congested areas in urban mass transport. So I think these are right way to look at how do we push our infrastructure development and look at multimodal aspect of it. For example, not only creating infrastructure, even the soft infrastructure which FM has suggested to have a better sharing of data. All the logistic stakeholders will have a common uniform platform which FM has announced to develop, which will enhance the sharing of data and also ease of business for the logistics user. So I think everything put together, the push is in a right direction. So I think I will definitely say she has done a very good balancing act.
So last question to you. You've been at the forefront when it comes to the transport sector earlier. You've closely studied and had various meetings with the stakeholders regarding battery swapping. How well do you think will it work in India, and what else needs to be done to ensure battery swapping is a success, considering it has been announced?
See, EV market in India is a huge market. We are probably going to be biggest EV market in few years to come. So I think there is a scope for combination of all kind of models in our market. There will be a battery swapping. There will be vehicles which will run. There will be a charging infrastructure. There will be a vehicle specifically designed for the users. So I think everything will work in India. For example, when we brought in e-rickshaw, nobody thought that e-rickshaw will be a success. Today, I think more than 5 lakh e-rickshaws are traveling in alone in Delhi. So I think there is enough space for every kind of technology model. Though there is a apprehension among industry that battery swapping may kind of restrain development of design and lighter batteries, and but I think every model will work in India. Like in mobile, the designs and in development in design has improved efficiency of the handsets. Similarly, the growth and development in battery technology will ultimately will answer those challenges. But I think there is a market for every kind of model into electric vehicles.
Well, I think you're right when it comes to a complete marketing of products in India, and I think Mr. Vaibhav Dange is correct when he says that there's a market for everything in India. Well, let's see how the budget comes out to be for the public for the year 2022 in New Delhi. Chetan, Bhutani for Business Today TV.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.